You need to complete an important assignment. The deadline is today. You pick up the pen and are just about to begin when you notice that small hole at the top of the pen cap. Wait, why is that there, and has it always been there? You need answers. We bring to you just that and many more surprising facts about everyday objects. Margins on a page. While writing in a notebook, we've been trained to avoid writing over the margins to keep our work looking neat and tidy, and they were mostly for teachers to mark comments in. Though this is what they are used for now, margins were actually made for a whole different reason. They were created to preserve your writings, since back in the day, architecture wasn't as pest preventative, and mice loved to chew on paper. Yes, these margins saved important documents or heartfelt poems as they preserved the important words, keeping them guarded. Who'd have thought that, right? Margins for mice. Pen cap hole. No, the hole on the top of our pen cap is not a way for manufacturers to make our pens dry out faster, and it definitely is not a whistle. Then what is it? In fact, it has a very thoughtful purpose. If a small child or a silly adult would accidentally have the pen cap stuck in their throat, the hole would help air to pass to the lungs and prevent the person from suffocating. That's what pen cap holes are for. Extra fabric with garments. You know when you buy a new garment and it comes with an extra button and a small piece of fabric, same as the material of the garment? The purpose is quite obvious. Button if you lose one, and fabric to patch up any holes. Well, yes, but the real purpose of this fabric is actually to test your washing products or washing methods on before ruining the nice garment that you were going to turn heads in. That's right, a tester. You can thank us later. Headrest. We know the purpose of the car seat headrest, obviously, for people, tall or short, to be able to rest their heads on. But why is it made detachable? The reason for this is that if you're stuck in a car and the windows won't open, the headrest can come to your rescue. Just remove it and place one of the metal rods at the bottom where the window meets the car door, and the glass will shatter with some shimmying. Beanie pom-pom. The pom-pom on our beanie sure looks stylish and cute, and while that is pretty much what its use is now, this fluffy ball has a history. They were first created by Vikings to keep their ears warm during extreme winters. Later, English sailors found great use for them. Imagine the boat rocking during a storm and you're trying to walk below a deck, and bang, you bonked your head again. These little fluffy guys have actually prevented injuries. Ridges on coins. Why do coins have ridges on the edges? Back in the day, when coins were made of gold or silver, some people would shave off edges of coins and use shavings of a few coins to melt and make a whole new coin, and would spend the shaven coin at full value even though they did not hold the same value anymore. Hence, to avoid it, minters made coins with ridges so as to tell easily if one was shaven or not. Today, they are made that way just to keep the tradition. How many of these did you already know? What are some other everyday objects with hidden uses or secrets that you know? Not everything works according to plan. However, sometimes it just works out for the best. Some of the products we use daily that make our lives easier were not products of trial and error. Aren't you curious to find out which life-changing products were actually accidental discovery? 1. Matches. In 1826, John Walker, a British pharmacist, noticed a dry lump at the end of a stick he used for mixing chemicals. He tried to scrape it off across the floor of his fireplace, and there were sparks and flames. He marketed the now called matchsticks as friction lights made of cardboard sticks. He later switched over to wooden splints and sandpaper. Since he failed to patent his invention, many others ripped off the idea and took over the market share, which led him to stop producing his version. 2. Penicillin. Alexander Fleming, a Scottish physician, is known for the discovery of the very first antibiotic. However, Did you know that this life-changing discovery was a result of his untidiness? When he returned from a 2-week-long vacation, he was surprised to see that some mold growing on a petri dish that is used to grow bacteria had successfully eliminated the bacteria near it. He later extracted the substance from this mold and called it penicillin. This substance could get rid of a variety of bacteria and was a major breakthrough in a time when there were no proper treatments for bacterial infections. 3. The microwave oven. In the 1940s, Percy Spencer, an American engineer, had a chocolate bar melt in his pocket while building magnetrons for radar sets to transmit short radio waves known as microwaves. He later realized that these microwaves had heated up the chocolate bar. He then developed a box known as a microwave oven and found that when food was placed in this box, the microwave energy cooked the food faster. However, this microwave oven at that time was not so common in kitchens as it is nowadays, since it was 6 feet tall, weighed around 750 pounds, and cost $5,000. It wasn't until 1967 when the first countertop microwave became available and accessible to the general public. 4. Chewing gum. In 1870, Thomas Adams was trying to experiment with chicle, a sap from South American trees, to look for a replacement for rubber. However, after many failed attempts, he popped a piece into his mouth and liked it. He later added flavor to his invention to make it popular among kids. Adams' New York Gum No. 1 was the world's first chewing gum. 5. Potato chips. In 1953, George Crumb, a cook at Saratoga Springs restaurant in New York, was annoyed with the complaints from a diner who kept sending his French fries back, asking for them to be thinner and crispier. After the third return, Crumb lost his temper and sliced the potatoes as thin as he could, fried them until they were crisp, and covered them with a prohibitive amount of salt. To his surprise, the diner loved them and ordered another round. This soon became the house specialty. Nowadays, it is a snack on which Americans spend more than $7 billion a year. 6. Chocolate chip cookies. In 1930, Ruth Wakefield, co-owner of Toll House Inn, was mixing the dough for cookies when she realized that she was out of melting baker's chocolate. As a substitute, she used a sweetened chocolate bar, chopped it into bits, and mixed it in her dough, hoping it would melt as well. But the little bit stuck, and thus was born America's favorite chocolate chip cookies. There you have it, some accidental discoveries that changed the world. We hope you learned something new today. Ouch! Ooh! Yikes! Wow! That had to hurt. Yes, we have all experienced pain, from minor cuts and bruises to diseases or surgeries at some point in our lives. And all of us have a very different threshold for pain, where some people scream or panic, some just merely grunt, and some can even pass out from the pain, as all of us feel pain differently. But have you ever wondered what some of the most painful things humans can experience might be? Today we will answer just that. From kidney stones to bullet ant stings, get ready for a painful and excruciating journey. 1. Kidney stones. Kidney stones are more common than ever. At least 1 in 10 people develop it. Men are more at risk of getting a kidney stone than women. These evil little, or not so little, stones have been around since the 7th century. These can be as tiny as a grain of sand or the size of a ping pong ball, which blocks the flow of urine and causes fever and extreme pain in the abdomen, back or sides. The stone moves from the kidney to the urinary tract and brings an intense stabbing pain. The best way to end this agony is to get medication and pass out the stone, which is extremely painful. 2. Burns. We have all probably imagined what it would be like to be engulfed in burning hot flames like in the movies, and how to escape it. As heroic as that moment looked on screen, the aftermath is a total nightmare, as people who have suffered burn injuries say that the treatment is worse than the actual feeling of getting burned. Though a piece of good news could be that the worse the burn, the lesser the pain you might feel, as the nerve endings in an intense burn are completely damaged, because of which you can't feel the pain. The treatment of burns involves the jelly-like blisters on the affected area being torn up and treated thereafter. Yikes, sounds terrifying. 3. Bullet ant sting. Intense, growing pain that feels like walking on burning charcoal with a nail in your heel. This isn't the pain from fire or a rusty nail. It is in fact from a tiny little ant. Yes, the bullet ant is known to have the worst sting, with pain coming in hot waves and growing as time passes. It can last for up to 24 hours. As the name suggests, a single sting by this tiny insect feels as if one has been shot by a gun. The entire body can feel like it's on fire, with the muscle around the sting tightening and muscles spasming and swelling up. Do you still think ants are harmless? 4. Labour pain, or childbirth. We've all heard about how much childbirth hurts. Women who've experienced it say it's like someone is constantly stabbing you in the stomach. Others say the pain is like having your insides twisted, pulled and squeezed. It is like pooping a bowling ball or a watermelon. Jeez. Childbirth comes in at a very high rank on the scale of worst pains ever felt by humans. We can only imagine why. So, thanks, Mum. 5. A kick in the nuts. And what follows childbirth is the world's biggest debate. What hurts the most, childbirth or getting kicked in the nuts? Well, they're probably equally painful. A kick or a hit to the testicles can cause excruciating pain, and in some cases it can cause severe damage. It feels like the testicles have a migraine depending on how hard the hit was, and the impact directly affects the stomach, making the person feel as if they will throw up. The pain usually fades over 2 to 3 hours. The reason a kick in a sensitive region hurts as much as it does is that the only protection is a layer of fibrous tissue, and unlike other organs, these are not covered with muscle or bone. They're all out, just right there, hanging there quite loosely. While the ongoing debate still remains if getting kicked in the testicles is as painful as childbirth, if a guy were kicked in the balls every 5 minutes for 24 hours, then it could indeed be more painful than childbirth, and in the worst case scenario, it can kill him. Whoa, scary much? 6. Broken bone. Fractures are quite common, with at least 1 million people getting one each year. However, they do not get any less painful. Even though breaking any bone in the body is considered to be awful, imagine breaking the strongest, longest and largest bone in the human body, the femur. The bone in the thigh, yes, that one. When broken, it brings not only agonizing pain, but also a prolonged pain that lasts for a long period of time. It's hell. It is considered to be the most painful break and can take 4 to 6 months to heal completely. So avoid cracking any bones. 7. Migraine. Throbbing pain on one side of your head. Your arms and legs feel tingly again, and your eyes start to blur as you see spots. You know what's coming next? It's a migraine. A migraine is an extremely painful and pulsing headache that is caused by abnormal brain activity. Its common symptoms are nausea, pain behind one eye or ear, sensitivity to sound or noise, and in some cases could also lead to temporary loss of vision. These can last for a few hours or even several days. If you ever experienced a migraine, try hopping into a warm shower or drink a cup of nice hot coffee, which can help with that infuriating headache. 8. Toothache. Another one that qualifies as painful is a toothache. Throbbing tooth pain is a sign that you might have tooth damage. Tooth decay or a cavity can give you a very bad toothache. They are typically caused by an infection or inflammation in the tooth, and the severe kind needs emergency treatment as no amount of painkillers can help the pain, and trying to get some sleep is almost impossible. We bet people who've experienced it would definitely be brushing their teeth regularly and flossing the right way every day. So, have you experienced any of these? And do you think some other painful experience deserves to be on this list?